Ooh, my lady's kind of dramatic here today, huh? Anyway, what's up guys? Today I'm here to talk about a group called the Mountain Brothers, a really dope, short-lived group from the late 90s, early 2000s, from Philly, Pennsylvania. They actually originally met in Penn State University. And it's three guys. It's Chop, Styles, and Peril. And they were very briefly signed to Rough House Records. Philadelphia, Rough House. And they only put out one single, which was only promo only, of Paper Chase, which was really dope. Then they left Rough House, but it was so dope that they just put it out themselves. And it came out right at the same time that Natural Elements had their single, Paper Chase, out. So it was a real, two great, fantastic cuts called Paper Chase that were both blowing up the underground at the same time, and coming from two, in some ways, very different approaches, even though they're both sort of, loquacious backpacker raps with some compelling beats. But still the question remained hanging over their heads. Could these guys become any more than just the crew that did the other Paper Chase? And it wasn't until 2 years later, 1998, when they dropped their second single, Galaxies, parenthetically The Next Level, that really confirmed these guys as a talented crew that deserved real fan support. And Galaxies was big for them, as big as Paper Chase. They shot a video for it, which was pretty big on the underground scene. It heralded in their album, which they released themselves on vinyl, and the label Pimp Strut released on CD. And they actually wound up releasing two 12-inch singles for it. So like I said, they had two labels. I mean, they since went on to sign with Baby Grand and all that, but at the time they had two labels, and one was basically just themselves, was Mountain Brothers Records, and the other was Pimp Strut. Mountain Brothers, they put out the vinyl themselves on sort of a small-scale run, and Pimp Strut was the slightly larger label that put it out on CD in a more broad level. And so both labels wanted to put out their version of the single Galaxies, even though in this case they both put it out on 12-inch vinyl. This here is the one on Mountain Brothers Records. Now the song itself is the same across both 12 inches, even though this one is called the album/radio edit, the other one's just called radio. They're the same thing. They call it radio because there's no curses in it. The album version has no curses in it. There is no version with curses in it, thus wise album/radio is the same thing. And both 12 inches also feature the instrumental, which again is exactly the same. The difference between them then is the B-sides, and that's important because both versions wound up having exclusive 12-inch B-sides that were only on their individual records, that were not on the album, the other single, or any other release. Of course, you know me, I'm going to play you a clip. But Galaxies itself, in a way, is a very simple song. Lyrically, it's not about much. It's just sort of them staking their claim in the game, sort of about themselves. But it's their classic. Everything that's right about the Mountain Brothers is in this song. The smooth, jazzy, very original production, some great scratches, and just some really nice flows from all three MCs. Yes, Chops is their producer/DJ, although they often have other DJs working with them from like 5th Platoon and all that. But he's also one of the rappers, and he actually comes pretty nice. He's the one who's sort of the deepest, bassiest voice.
Galaxies. MBs throughout the galaxies. Take it to the next level, haha. Seems like this past night I fantasized we wasn't just your average guys with a dream but no queen, can't wait to have that. It's fair enough for me to grab that. Collecting paydays, relaxing with a special lady. That is for this show, baby. What if rap can pay my rent and gas, then all the rest is gravy. Hasn't been since '89, my house time slips away. Now we'll put this paint script another chapter. Mountain Brothers, universal as we inching up our stats. So envision the rapture, wish to capture this millennium. Perennial bliss, descending of the missions to hatch out 97, mine's 11. Searching for my brother, they seize pause, MBRs, and these stars align with heaven.
Depth perception, the best selection, the next direction. I leave it up to direct against the question as I bless the session. How could your disgusting busters even touch this when it's just a reflection? My master's critical raps invisible like scratch pickles and X-Men. Getting femmes confessing, expressing predilection for sex and affection when I finesse them. Philadelphia Asiatic, representing from the West End section, destined for presidential election. MBs throughout the galaxies.
Rebels, MBs throughout the galaxies. MBs throughout the galaxies. Take it to the next level, haha, check it out. No more letters of rejection, no more getting corrections. The music's headed in directions that's better than perfection.
So let's look at the B-side of the Mountain Brothers Records versions first. That's The Adventures of, which is an album track. So that by itself is not all that exclusive. It's on the debut album, it's not that hard to find. The only difference is this is the radio edit, which in itself is exclusive, but worse really. It kind of spoils the song by cutting out the curses, so unless you're actually running a radio show, it's not all that desirable. However, it's the Nutritious Breakfast remix, which is a desirable exclusive here. It completely changes the beat, makes it sort of, I don't quite want to say darker, but funkier, kind of heavier bass, a little bit smoother, totally different. I'm going to play clips of both, of course.
Call me extraterrestrial, average Joe. I'm on the flex, the celestial, savage flow. See, I was raised by Amazon women on the moon. Now I live in a balloon, sometimes swim in a lagoon. Kaboom, leave without a trace, beam from outer space to a crowded place. Crush MCs to powder waste. My syntax is just to send back the corny cats. In fact, it possesses the impact of 40 gats. Plus aluminum bats, they get smacked and pulverized. Consuming the fat to make the tracks oversized. My sixth senses shine, excelling striking nerves and expelling biting herbs. Who be yelling, fighting words like this one kid with redundant hyperboles. Opposite styles battle, now begun to snipe verbally. I screwed him about life, he loaded a shotgun. I exploded his knot, son, dust fell. The venomous arch nemesis, whack rapper. My heart's generous, so I attract dapper females to my lap with details of the story. At the laboratory, just sit back and grab a shorty. Yeah. The adventures of cosmic pimp. The adventures of cosmic pimp. The adventures of cosmic pimp. The cosmic pimp. They call me the cosmic pimp. I got a lip, the cool out touch, and a bunch of true serum in my...
Now let's look at the B-sides on the Pimp Strut version. And first off is the least compelling, but I'll get it out of the way, Fluids, which is another album track. It's a great album track though. It's really funky production. It's really sort of slightly out there, but really smooth. I mean, I really love the sound of it. Their flows sound great over the beat.
Take a drink, the fluids.
Got to get your fluids.
Take a drink, the fluids.
Got to get your fluids.
Take a drink, the fluids.
Got to get your fluids.
Take a drink, the fluids.
Got to get your
Who's the most prominent new East Coast dominant crew? Not the one to play, maintain. How you gonna stay sane when my style's a runaway train? Giving heads deviated, scepter, intoxicating the living dead. Inebriated, I left, just stumbling quick. The verbal interceptor, crumbling clicks. Kept the drunken strips, deep in sunken ships. Humbling tricks, mumbling shit. What? From 215 to 610. Sun vibes got you feeling swell. Done live watch the Illidale complex. Not inferior, my rhyme wrecks interior parts. It's inferior hearts. Underground, I'll never hear your chart.
But again, it's just another album track, so it's not all that compelling. And certainly no reason to get both 12 inches. The actual B-side, when you flip it over, however, is. It's a track called Thoroughbred, a song which only exists on this 12-inch. Well, except I think Chops put it on a mixtape years later, but this original version is only given a proper release on this 12-inch. And it comes in instrumental, clean, and raw uncut version, so it's got everything you could want. You're definitely not stuck with just the radio edit like you were some of the other songs. And again, it's a really dope song. It's some real top-shelf Mountain Brothers material. It stands up alongside and even surpasses a lot of stuff on their later album.
Bringing damage to your bar will be some brothers from the east with the beats that be thorough. Flows that be thorough.
flows that be thorough.
Shows that be thorough. Bringing damage to your bar will be some brothers from the east with the beats that be thorough. Flows that be thorough.
Flows that be thorough.
Shows that be thorough.
Kitty cats be jocking when they catch me in the hallways rocking. My tracks is like Jehovah's Witnesses, always knocking. Just when you thought you had all forgotten, the album is dropping, stopping all of your cock blocking. Chops and them beaters is hitting off the meters. I lace tracks with the strings from Run DMC's Adidas. Cooler than water rice from readers. Your daughters fight the meters. My rhythm is giving hella divas the yellow fevers. You know the steeds, chill like 0 degrees. Folks notice me both locally and overseas. Those with ovaries be standing close to me hopefully. enter the dragon, essentially bag them like they was groceries. Vocally ain't nobody approaching me, even supposedly. I'm talking globally, bi-coastally. You know the 3 mountain roads and we flow with these, leaving you holding these. Impeach the president so you can vote for me. What?
Bringing damage to your bubble, be some brothers from the east with the beats that be thorough. Flows that be thorough.
Flows that be thorough.
Shows that be thorough. Bringing damage to your bubble, be some brothers from the east with the beats that be thorough. Flows that be thorough.
Flows that be thorough.
Shows that be thorough.
When I school kids, I'm cool and ruthless. Schools end up looking foolish and losing, saying I'ma quit music.
So the Mountain Brothers are a really dope, underrated crew whose lifespan was unfortunately way too short. Even though their second album was a little disappointing, they still, you know, represented. They were still clearly a dope crew that had a lot more to give. Unfortunately, they broke up. Chops and Styles essentially left the music scene, not completely. Styles put out a couple solo singles, and every once in a while they kind of come back to collaborate on a song or something, but Chops is the only one who's really stayed in the game. And he stayed in the game as a producer who's been really wildly successful, and he deserves to be, because he's definitely a talent, as you can hear in his Mountain Brothers music. So I have to say, because they're so limited and because they're such a dope crew, I really recommend their first album and all their early singles, including both versions of Galaxies, because the exclusive B-sides are worth it. So until their highly anticipated reunion, or my next video, whichever comes first, is Werner von Wallenrod saying peace out.